Hey, hello. Welcome to my session and thank you for participating. My name is Caio Olivera. I'm a principal multi-cloud architect. I'm part of the global multi-cloud architecture and strategy team. So my day-to-day job is help customers and partners on their multi-cloud journey, right? So helping them architect, plan every step of the way. And here today I'm going to present one of the, I would say one of the most important tools that we have available today to help that path, right? So I'm talking about VMware Cloud Well Architected Framework. So to explain first why VMware Cloud Architecture Framework, right? So the key objective of the VMware Cloud Well Architecture Framework is to help customers, of course, accelerate their efforts towards infrastructure as well application modernization, right? So if you see the normal path that the most of the customers and partners, our customers and partners are doing, we had the boom of the cloud first, right? So you go towards the cloud, you pretty much try to move all your applications there, but you don't have any controls of the application and even the cost of the cloud infrastructure. And of course, lock-in has also become an issue because if you want to go and have the best place for your application, potentially you are tied to a cloud, right? So what happened is that when they're trying to do the multi-cloud approach, you got first into the cloud chaos, right? Because you're migrating applications everywhere, so you have like different management pieces. So, and of course, you have more points to touch, you increase the complexity. So what VMware approach is actually uses the cloud smart approach when we're gonna use the right cloud for your application, right? So here you also will be, VMware will be providing the consistent management for the entire cloud, right? So, and that's like, you have different ways to implement that. So Well Architected Framework was created to give you a guidance on how you do step by step on the way, right? So Well Architected Framework with multi-cloud is for you execute against your strategy to create what? A reliable, scalable, secure, and efficient cloud environments using our technology, right? And the Well Architected Framework is divided in 5 pillars, right? And you go each step of the way. So the first one, of course, you have to plan before you execute, or the plan before you build. That's the second one. So in the plan phase, you pretty much will understand your architecture, have a kind of like your entire portfolio, understand your networking and security posture. And then the second way, after you have all this, you have to make a decision on which infrastructure you're going to use. So will be the build pillar. I will go through each of one with more information. So it's just more a high level that I'm providing you. Then, of course, you already have your definition. You are starting creating your environments. Then you have to secure those environments. So creating your security posture, understanding which will be the firewall rules, which will be the entire posture that you're going to implement in every of all those clouds. Then you have the possibility to modernize your application. That's important part of the job, because normally modernize is not that you definitely will re-platform or re-host your entire thing. You have to evaluate what will be the applications that are really important for you to modernize. Because actually doing, for example, retirement of application and leveraging a new SaaS one might be a good way, a good strategy depending on your entire portfolio. And of course, when you have everything built, you plan it, you build, you secure, and you modernize potentially a few applications, now you have to operate. So you have to maintain your applications. And then is the last pillar, but still really important, to keep your environment running and growing, right? So going to each steps, right? So the first one is the plan pillar, is when you start planning your multi-cloud transition, right? First step, you have to define all the scopes, all the requirements. So you're going to do an assessment on your entire environment. And when I talk about assessment, this is not only about your virtual machine, but also the dependencies. What are the networking components on everything? If there's only VMs, there are physical stuff. So With that, you're going to analyze as well your team structure, right? Because that's not only about technology, you have to think about what teams will be managing and operating those environments, right? So this is also a really important piece when you're talking in the plan pillar. So you have, of course, to do an entire assessment, so understanding dependencies, and we have great tools at VMware, for example, area operations for networks helps you to understand all the dependencies on one application. So if you don't know, so what will be the best locations, if those applications need availability, how they need to scale or not. And of course, going toward the design considerations. And that definitely will be important to understand the challenges and the requirements that why you're going towards the multi-cloud, right? So you have put everything together. Now you have the groundwork for transitioning to the build pillar. So you have a plan, now you have to execute on that, right? So the build pillar will be for you to potentially deploy your SDDC, right? Or potentially reuse or make your like traditional environment more as we call a VCS friendly environment. So you implement the VMware Cloud Foundation on that, right? So that will be built will be based on the entire plan that you did before, right? Then you, of course, you have to implement all the infrastructure services. Now I'm talking here, NDP, DNS, DHCP, like everything that's work, of course, having the understand on the logs, what will be the syslog, creating the identity, who will be assessing each environment, what will be the requirements for access those environments. And extremely important. Before my session, we are talking about like backup. So backup and disaster recovery is also part of this build plan, because with that you have your infrastructure ready. Now you go to the secure pillar, where you have everything in place. You need to secure, and how are you going to secure that? First, you have to understand what will be the model based on your choice, right? If you are on-prem or if you are in the cloud, what is the shared responsibility module between who will be responsible for the applications, who will be responsible for implementing the security posture. There are thousands of possibilities, and it's really important for you to understand which will be the one that you're using, right? And what will be the VMware role? So how we're gonna, the service that we're gonna be providing will manage and protect your environment, and which will be your, as a customer or as a partner, your responsibility to securing the environments, which will be the firewall rules that will be implemented, because at the end of the day, the applications, you know well better your applications, your business than us. We are here trying to help. That's why important the responsibility model between those two. And of course, having like a comprehensive foundation and a granular access to that, it will be extremely important. So evaluating that, if there's a threat, how I will do the analytics of my environment. So this is where pretty much you're gonna have a secure posture for your environment, right? So that will be important, and now you're ready to evaluate if modernization is needed for your applications, right? So remember on the plan, you have on the plan phase, you have all your VMs, all your applications mapped, right? Now you have to understand which will be the ones that I will primarily migrate to the cloud, right? Which will be the ones that I'm potentially retiring, which will be the ones that are potentially will be modernizing, which are the ones that I will be refactoring, right? So moving towards a more modernized approach, a more modernized platform. I'm using Kubernetes or not. I will be keeping that as a VM traditional based application, right? And you have, of course, to execute that based on the availability of the business, because sometimes I went to a customer one time that he said, I cannot wait to, if the modernized plan for me to go towards a modern application will take me like 3, 4, 5, 7 years, because every single minute that the application is not running, I'm losing money. So you have to balance those things, if that's important or not for you to modernize. And of course, the optimization of costs and operations will be the second, an important point when you talk about your modernizing pillar. And to finish the operate pillar, right, when you have everything done, you plan it, you execute it, you secure, you have modernized in your applications. Now you have to operate that going forward, right? So you have to focus always on the applications. That's the idea of leveraging perspective guidance, a perspective tool. So you have the foundation. VMware Cloud Foundation is for helping you do your applications better, right? Your applications run better. So you always have to have the applications on top of mind. So you have a shift on your mindset, right? So you have those guidelines for monitoring the applications, everything related to licensing, security, performance. That will be important to be part of this operate layer, right? Here, of course, understanding the availability of your environment. If you have backups up to date, if you have your disaster recovery running, if you have a plan, you're testing those disaster recovery. So that will ensure your ongoing success, right? And where you can get all those information, right? Here's the link. We have everything related to Well Architected Framework on the tech zone, and we have for each of one of our offerings. You have for VMware Cloud on AWS, Azure VMware Solution, Google Cloud VMware Engine, Oracle Cloud VMware Solution, as well all of our VCBP partners, so our VMware Cloud providers, right? And if you go, there's a lot of documentation that will help towards that journey, right? So to summarize and then finish my presentation here, I try to quickly show the benefits and the power as well of the Well Architected Framework, right? So here is a collaborative guidance between you partners and VMware to offer the best practice for your multi-cloud journey. It's a focused approach, it's a framework that works with 5 pillars, and we always invite you to do a collaboration with us, and everything that you think that might be incorporated into that, this is like a live environment, and every day we try to put more best practice there. So, thank you.